tend to pack my bags approximately 30 minutes before a trip, and it takes me exactly 5 minutes to do it. Take 2. 2.0, revised, expanded. How do I say this? Hey everybody, it's your favorite flight attendant, Erica from America, and today I'm here to ask your opinion on something. And at the same time, I am going to actually give advice on how to create your own wardrobe capsule for travel. And I'm going to give you my best tips. But at the same time, I want to ask your advice. And here's where I'm going to ask your advice. If you watched the last video that I did last Tuesday, I had basically reacted to petite dressing. I picked that video because I wanted to introduce the concept of taking just a few pieces of a wardrobe and making 30 outfits from it. And that was the video that came up in my YouTube feed, so I thought this is a perfect way to introduce what I know. When I watched it, I realized it was basically a fashion show, and a lot of the advice wouldn't really apply to a lot of the people that were watching it. And so I cut a lot of the video out and tried to leave just the advice in, and then tried to link to her video. But the feedback I got was that a lot of people couldn't understand her accent. And then people were like, why did you pick this video to react to? They didn't quite understand the reasoning. But a lot of people loved the advice that I gave at the end. And I thought, okay, that was a bad choice of a video to react to. And yet I still wanted to talk about that particular topic. Well, it's been a week and we're on to the next Travel Tuesday. And as I've been thinking about it for the week, I realized there was a lot more that I wanted to say that I didn't say because I was reacting to her video, and I didn't want the video to be even longer than it was. And so the question that I have for you guys is, how would you feel if I made videos that were just travel advice, where I didn't react to anything? That's kind of the stuff that I want from you guys today. Today, this is not a reaction video. This is literally going to be me expanding on last week's video. And if you didn't see last week's video, don't worry about it. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take my advice from that video, and I'm going to put it in this video in just a couple minutes. And then after that, I'm going to say all the things that I wanted to say that I didn't say. And I'm going to show you my own wardrobe capsule for traveling for the winter. Now, it's not something you can buy. It's just things that you should look for if you're going to travel during the winter. In a moment, I'm going to give you the timestamps for both, so you can either watch that whole thing if you didn't see last week's video, or you can jump to the new advice if you did see last week's video. And all I'm asking is, do you want to see more videos where I just give you travel advice and I don't react to other people's videos? If you are okay with that, let me know in the comments. Let me know at the end. But for now, let me tell you a little bit about me that I probably haven't said yet. So yes, I am a regional flight attendant. That means my airplanes don't cross oceans. I fly the 48 contiguous states, plus we go to Canada, the Caribbean, and Mexico. I always feel kind of weird saying that I'm a travel guru, but I was thinking about it today and I thought, not only am I a travel guru, but I'm a different kind of travel guru than pretty much anybody else you're going to find out there. First of all, being a regional flight attendant means that I basically fly 240 days out of the year, and I'm basically away from home at night 15 days a month, which comes out to 180 nights a year. And yes, it adds out because they're usually 4-day, 3-night trips. That's your average regional flight attendant. We're flying an average of 50 flights a month. Mainline flight attendants, they usually do the international flights. They cross oceans. They do fewer flights a day, but they often do longer flights than we do. So their experience is different than my experience, although I have traveled internationally as well. But here's the thing about being a regional flight attendant that makes me unique to other flight attendant advice you might see out there. My advice comes from the fact that I bid for something called reserve. Reserve means I'm the on-call flight attendant, and I choose to be that. All flight attendants spend some time on reserve, and most of them hate it. Like 98% of them hate it, whereas I love it. Now, the difference between being on reserve and being what's called a line holder is that line holders know every single flight they're going to take for an entire month. They know who they're flying with, what plane they're flying, who the pilots are, what hotels they're staying at, how many trips they're doing, basically where their layovers are going to be. They know everything. That's a line holder. Most flight attendants like that. They can swap and drop and trade that, and they can custom design their flight schedule. A reserve flight attendant, on the other hand, I have no idea where I'm going. Literally tomorrow, I'm on standby, which means that I'm the backup flight attendant for those flight attendants that are ending their days. The flights that misconnect, the flight attendants that time out, or they get sick, or they get injured and they just can't fly anymore, they call me in to take their flights. And I never know where I'm going. I don't know if I'm going to end up tomorrow in Canada or in Cancun. I don't know if I'm going to end up in Phoenix, Arizona or New York, New York. And if you think about that for just a minute, what that's like on a daily basis, that means I have no clue what I need to pack for because the weather is incredibly different in Phoenix, Arizona in the winter to New York, New York in the winter. I have to be prepared for all types of weather for wherever I'm going to end up, and I have to pack accordingly. So the travel wardrobe that I'm going to show you after this bulk of advice I'm about to play is going to be clothing that I specifically choose for the winter to make sure that I am okay in all time zones, all latitude lines, all longitude lines, and basically all types of weather. So that is why my advice is going to be unique and different, because most line holders, if they know where they're going, they pack for that specific trip. If they know they're going to be in Canada, they pack for Canada. If they know they're going to be in Florida, they pack for Florida. I don't know. So my 10 pieces that I have to choose have to do well in all temperatures. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. But first, in case you missed it last week, I'm about to start just the advice from the last video. I'm ripping out all of the stuff about the fashion show, all of the stuff about the other content creator, and I'm just going to play the bulk of my advice. And at this timestamp right here, this is where you're going to want to jump to if you already saw last week's advice and you just want to see what my winter wardrobe capsule looks like. And no, this is not for sale. I will try to put some links to some of the brands that I recommend who are not sponsoring me at all. Most of the products I buy from Kohl's or Amazon. So I will link to those companies' stores on Amazon. For me, that means the commission is pretty much the same all the time. So I'm not being paid to promote these products. These are literally products that I use on a daily basis for every trip. So if you guys are still with me, let's go ahead and replay last week's travel advice with just me. Well, that didn't go how I thought it would go. That was more of a fashion show than like fashion advice. However, I am going to use my travel fashion advice to take what she gave and then make it so that you can also use some of the tips that she's recommending if you want to look a certain way, or use some of the tips that I'm going to recommend if you want to fly. Basically, I'll start with the Weekenders business. Weekenders was a fantastic business that made travel clothes out of knit material that all pulled double duty. The product was fantastic. The problem was their MLM business model was terrible. They basically would release a new line of clothes every 6 months that we were expected to buy at full price with our discount of 30 to 40% off, and then turn around and sell the clothes at full price to our customers. The problem was that 4 months after the line came out, they would clearance the products for like 50% off, and then we would still get our 30 to 40% discount on top of that. So we would literally buy the clothes for like 25% of the original retail cost. So a lot of people would wait until the 4-month mark and then hit up their customers and sell the whole line to them then. That obviously meant that the company was not going to make a lot of money. That's pretty much why they went under. The basic concept of the company that made it so fantastic is that you would help your customers pick 10 pieces. It was usually 4 bottoms, 4 tops, and 2 jackets. And then you could mix and match and make 30 different outfits with that. So think about that for just a second. 4 bottoms, 4 tops, 2 jackets. Point 2 that was fantastic about the company is that all of the clothes pulled double duty. They could be mixed and matched so that you could wear the items when it was hot, when it was cold, when it was raining. You could wear it to the business office, or you could change it up a bit and wear it to the nightclub. The third was that all of the products were made out of knit materials. And the knit materials meant that it would not wrinkle in your luggage. You could literally ball it up, throw it on the floor, pick it up, shake it out, and still be able to wear it. Because of that, I still look for knit garments today that I can buy and wear that don't necessarily wrinkle. And honestly, I don't really use an iron on anything except my work uniform. The final concept that was fantastic about the garments was because they were knit materials, because they were cut properly, you could also basically wear them to bed. They were that soft, they were that comfortable. And you kind of get addicted to that. So most of the clothes that I own, you can actually wear to bed or out and about. So for me, traveling as a flight attendant, the basic concept that I look for when I look for clothes is I look for knit materials that don't wrinkle. I look for clothes that can pull double duty, and I look for items that I can mix and match. Now, when it comes to the mix and match, there was a very basic, simple concept with Weekenders. The concept was that you would get 2 of your basic colors, and it was usually like black and white or black and cream, and you would pick a bottom, a shirt, and a jacket with the black colors, and then you would pick a bottom and a top of white or cream colored, and possibly the jacket too, if you wanted the jacket in cream colored. And then of course you could pick more as well, but they would usually start you with these core pieces and then they would add in a bright color each season. Something that went really well with either one of those. Now, I don't know about you. I seem to live by the rule of the white shirt, which says that as soon as you put on a brand new white shirt, you will immediately stain it with something that you cannot wash out, like ketchup or coffee or spaghetti sauce. So the basic concept was that you would pick garments that were black because it matches pretty much everything. You would pick garments that were white or cream because it matched with everything. And then you would pick your bright colors, your obnoxious colors, or your level colors, whichever you wanted, that would blend with those. And you would mix and match it like she did at the end of the video. This was a fantastic concept, except for the rule of the white shirt. But I figured out that if I go for a light gray or possibly like a light blue, that sometimes that works for me as well. And I don't seem to live under the rule of the white shirt with those. Okay, so here was a cool tip that I learned from Weekenders. Whenever you pick a top and a bottom that are the same color, it could be completely obnoxious. It could be bright orange for both the top and the bottom. It could be purple. It could be whatever. As long as the top and the bottom were the same color, it often gave you a slimmer silhouette. So if you wanted to actually look thinner in something that you wear, try to make sure that your colors are the same for both your top and the bottom. Most people think that it's black. So they think, I'm going to wear black on the top and black on the bottom. I'm going to look thinner. The same concept goes for all of the colors, basically. So that was one tip that I always really liked, and I really do think it works. The next concept that we're going to go for is what I call the double duty concept. That is that all of my clothes have to do double duty. The next tip that I want to give you is, I've mentioned Cuddle Duds in another video. These are Cuddle Dud leggings, and basically they are super, super thin, and these pull double duty all the time. I will wear these under my pants in the winter. It helps me stay warmer in Chicago when I'm traveling. They are really good at wicking moisture away. So I can wear these in Miami, which I have done. I have literally left Chicago in 10-degree Fahrenheit weather and landed in Miami in 90-degree Fahrenheit weather, which was an 80-degree difference in one day. And I had these on underneath. And it was a little bit uncomfortable, but not as uncomfortable as it would have been normally. The nice thing about these is I will also wear them as leggings under dresses or long shirts because they're that comfortable. And I have also worn them under my tights with my uniform because they're so thin. And then I'll just wear boots over it to hide the hem around the bottom. So this is kind of a triple duty item to not only keep me warm, but to keep me cool. And sometimes if I need to, I'll sleep in these as well. So Cuddle Duds, you can get them from Kohl's, you can get them from Walmart and Target at certain times of year. But Kohl's, you can buy it from their website all year long. They always have the full line. Item number 2 is like what she's wearing right there, the t-shirt. I always carry a stretchy t-shirt, partially because it's a t-shirt. You're going to wear it when you go out and about. If it's a hot day, you want something that's a little bit cooler. But I also use it as a pillowcase. The reason that I will do that is when you dye your hair burgundy and then you wash it in hot water, it likes to bleed and make your bath look like a bloodbath. When you're traveling and you go to wash your hair in hot water, which I always do, you will stain the towels burgundy, you will stain the pillowcases burgundy. Even if you don't wash your hair, if you sweat from the neck up like I do, I have woken up with the pillowcases burgundy before. So anytime I dye my hair, I know that for about a week after I dye my hair, I'm going to stain white pillowcases and white towels. So it helps to have an extra t-shirt around that you can just throw over your pillowcase and you can sleep on it, and then you could also wear it if you need to. Maybe that grosses you out, but traveling is about getting creative. So if that grosses you out, you need to consider how you travel. The other thing is you might have more than one t-shirt, so you might just wear that when you run down to the hotel lobby or when you run out to the corner to get some snacks from the gas station. Item number 3 that I always carry with me, and don't judge me for the paint stain on this. I just grabbed one that was hanging out and I'm in the process of painting. I always carry a thin long sleeve shirt too. These are great because you can layer them under jackets. You can wear them as a pajama top if your hotel room is too cold. I will use it as a shirt as I go out and about. I will use it to keep myself warm on planes. This is another Cuddle Duds item that I got from the men's section because they don't put these in the women's section. You might not be able to find something exactly like this, but if you go to the workout section at Kohl's or wherever you buy your workout clothes, and you look for a workout top with a zipper and pockets, and preferably pockets with zippers, this is a great thing to take on the plane because the flight attendants will always keep the planes cold. It forces people to sleep, and hot planes make people throw up. Having something like this that you can grab out of your bag, something that bundles up real small, is really nice. And you usually find this in the workout section. Again, if you get zippered pockets, that's really nice too. Because then when you're out and about, if you stick anything in there, you can zip it up and not worry so much about getting pickpocketed or having things fall out of your pocket. Plus, if you're wearing it when you go through security, you can just take the whole thing off, drop it in the bin, and then you just pick it up and put it on the other side, and you've got all of your stuff in here that you need, like your ID, your keys, whatever it was that you wanted to keep close to you. Finally, the nice thing about this is you can wear this as a top, or you can throw it over a t-shirt like that, or you can wear it as a jacket, and it gives you a dual look. So again, I like that from the workout section. And speaking of workout section, again, this is for the women. I like to travel with a tank top from the workout section that's made of a swimsuit stretchy material. And I like to travel with shorts made out of a swimsuit stretchy material. Do you see where I'm going with this? Swimsuit material? Yes, I will use these as a swimsuit. And the reason that I do that is because this dries out so much faster than even regular swimsuits. When you buy a regular swimsuit, they often have the padded bra inside, and that takes a long time to dry. Also, if you do buy a two-piece, a lot of times when you hang these up to dry and the water goes down, you'll find that the bottom dries slower than the top. With something that's like a swimsuit material, the nice thing about it is if you do go swimming, you get the chlorine in it, you rinse it out in the sink, and then you squeeze out as much water as you can, and you hang it in the shower, and it'll be dry by morning. With the shorts, again, I look for something with pockets, and as a lady, you might be able to guess why. Got any ideas? Basically, I will wear this under a skirt if I am traveling. Because if you are a lady who is a little bit more voluptuous, you might know that if you walk in a skirt without shorts underneath, your thighs are going to rub together and you're going to get that rash that really drives you crazy. So I not only wear this as a swimsuit, I also wear it as thigh protection when I'm wearing a dress. I'm out and about and traveling. And finally, both of these can be used in the gym. So if you actually want to work out, you've got a workout outfit that, again, you could rinse out and hang. And then also, again, with this, I will use it as a tank top and I will layer it under a jacket like this, any kind of jacket, just to get that pop of color. This one, again, does not have the built-in bra. You can buy them with the built-in bras, but they do tend to take a little bit longer to dry, and they might not be dry by morning if you need to throw it in your suitcase and move on. This is another tip that I really liked from Weekenders. You see her skirt here? You can take a skirt like this and you can pull it up to underneath the arms here, and you can create a strapless dress. This looks terrible on me because of the super wide shoulders and also the girls. But if you're thinner and your girls are perkier, it might look great on you. Or if you have like a strapless bra, you take a skirt like that, you pull it up, and then you strap it off with the belt. And you could do high, low, different types of belts, even ties, like a robe tie, and you can get some really cool dress looks with a skirt. Then you can also throw your jacket over it and give it a little bit classier look. Whereas if you do a shorter skirt like that and you pull it up, it's just going to give you that tube top look that looks really good for a lot of women. It is a nice simple tip that if you want to take a skirt with you, you can use it as a tube top. If you want to take a long skirt with you, you can use it as a cocktail dress. That could be one of your bottoms that also will double duty and give you even more outfits. Now we're in the men's/women's/unisex section. And some of the tips that I want to tell you about in this section, we're going to start with the shoes. So these are the shoes that I wear. They have basically a very flexible sole, and it's basically a sneaker sole. They are Skechers, and I can walk miles and miles of these a day. So I love these because they give me that professional look that I need at work, but I can also wear them on the treadmill. I can run in these, and I definitely walk 10,000 steps a day in these, which is about 4 miles. So if you're going to pick shoes for your trip, you want to pick something with a nice flexible sole that is very likely from your sneaker section. Whatever your favorite sneaker company is, find their store, go to it, and see what styles they have with flexible soles. And then the best thing you can do is make sure you don't have any laces, because when you go through security, not having laces and slipping them on and off is much easier. You will definitely want to avoid wearing high heels to the airport, because some high heels now actually put a metal shank in this part of the shoe, and that will set off security like every single time. Not only that, you don't want to run around the airport in high heels or flip-flops, which a lot of people do, because a lot of these airports are like a mile long, and you might only have 10 minutes to run from one side of the airport to the other. You don't want to do that in high heels. You don't want to do that in flip-flops. So try to grab something from your sneaker section, preferably without laces, that look professional, that you can wear not only in the gym, but when you're like out and about while you're traveling. Now that the shoes are out of the way, the next item that I want to talk about that applies for both men and women is pants, and more specifically, jeans. Now, I think there are some travelers that will definitely disagree with me on this next part, but I never, ever, ever travel with jeans. And the reason that I never, ever, ever travel with jeans is because of the material. Now, I think a lot of travelers that travel rough and tumble and camp a lot, they love jeans because it's harder to rip them and they're very long lasting. The reason that I don't travel with them is one, because they're very bulky and they take up a lot of space in the suitcase. And two, they don't dry out quickly. So if you want to wash them in your hotel room, in the tub or whatever, and you get them wet, they're hard to wring out. They take several days to drip dry. You don't want something like that. Instead, what I have are pajama jeans, and that is the literal name of the company. So I have owned pajama jeans for probably 12, 13 years. I don't even know. They've had the same styles for well over a decade. I've probably got 2 pairs of these. And the nice thing about it is that you can get the different kinds of cuffs that you like. They do have them for men as well as women. And here are the men's versions. Again, they're the basic classic styles that they do every year. Black, blue, indigo, whitewash. And if you subscribe, apparently you get 15% off. And no, they're not sponsoring me. I am not affiliated with them at all. They do have petite sizes. They do have tall sizes. And they usually have a sale section, which is usually some weird style that they have come out with. Obviously, they do shorts as well. But anyway, all of these styles come in different colors. They always do have a sale section, and you can find these on Amazon. I generally order them from Amazon, not only because they can sometimes be cheaper on Amazon, but because they'll be delivered faster on Amazon, and you don't pay shipping on Amazon. They do have a store set up on Amazon, which I will link for you in the description below, so that if you want to click on that, you can just go and then browse through whatever they have on Amazon. Or again, this is pajamajeans.com. Now, the great thing about these is they are very stretchy material. They do feel like jeans on the outside, but they're not as heavy as jeans. You can sleep in these. I have slept in these before. They generally dry faster than jeans. They may not be the fastest, but they also have a string on the inside. You can see how beat up that is because I've had these for a long time. So this is always nice. You don't have to worry about a belt. You can loosen it or tighten it depending on how much you eat during the day. And I think they just look great. These ones got some little holes in it because I will literally do construction in these. So pajama jeans is a great style. I do look for materials that I can sleep in, whether it's jeans or just lounge pants. I do tend to buy my favorite pants from the Kohl's workout section. They're super comfortable. If you get the ankle kind like this right here, that can be nice because then if it's raining wherever you're going, you don't have to worry about stepping in puddles. It tends to stay above your shoe line. It tends to stay cleaner. And then again, if it's raining, you're not getting them wet like I always do. I never wear them like that. I always go for the kind that drag on the ground and regret it a lot. Although sometimes if I take boots, that does help it stay dry. Also, I tend to look for pants with pockets, and the pajama jeans do have pockets, or if I get the lounge pants, I also get pockets. Basically, what I do is whenever I pack, I try to grab at least 1 pair of pants that could be lounge pants, pajama pants. I grab a set of leggings. I grab a short sleeve shirt. I grab a long sleeve shirt. I grab a workout jacket. If I know there's going to be a pool, or if I think I'm going to work out at all, I will take the swimsuit material stuff. Usually I only take this if I know that there's going to be a hot tub. And then once I've got that one set, I might grab a second set of that exact same thing. Or like I said, if you grab 4 bottoms, 4 tops, 2 jackets for 10 pieces, you can make 30 different outfits. And if you do a skirt or a dress with that, that can be a tube top as well as a cocktail dress or as a skirt. That gives you more options. So I guess that's it. Okay, back to Out of Whack Wednesday. The part that I forgot to mention last night while editing this and when I first recorded this was the things that need to live in your suitcase if you want to pack quickly. In order to pack quickly and make sure that you never miss anything, there are certain things that you should just buy for your suitcase as if your suitcase owns them. For example, your bag of toiletries. You should leave in your suitcase all year round. One of the problems that I think a lot of people do is that they think when they get home, they have to completely empty out their suitcase and return everything to its original position. But you have your toiletries and you just leave them in your bag all the time, then that is going to help you make sure that you never forget your toiletries. Let's say you travel once a year. When it's time to pack for the following year and you see that bag of toiletries in there, you're going to go ahead and refresh them with new stuff and put it back. So it's going to help you never forget your toiletries by always leaving that toiletry bag in your suitcase. Along with that, I always have my charger in the bag. I bought a fast charger that has lots of USB ports in it, and then I have a different kind of cable for absolutely anything that I might need to charge attached to it. So I've got the C chargers, I've got the lightning chargers, I've got the charger for my glasses, I've got the mini USB charger. I put as many chargers as I can connected to this one box, wrap them all up, and leave them in the suitcase all year. The reason that I use the fast charger is because it has a long cable, and a lot of times the plugs are behind the bed in a lot of hotels. They always try to have one on the nightstand, but sometimes those are super weak. Sometimes you can't fit 2 plugs into it. So having the long cable with the fast charger makes it a lot easier for me to access more plugs in the room and charge more devices. If you think about it, you probably have a lot of chargers around your house that you don't use, that you don't need. I've got a box of them. Just grab some of those, throw them in your bag, and just leave them there all year long. Even if you just do cables and not a full charger, having something like this, a lot of times the nightstands will have a USB port that you can plug it into. You can plug it in on the plane. Just always keep them in your bag. Also, I keep a sandwich bag of all of the vitamins that I need in the bag. And I keep another sandwich bag with like Aleve and aloe vera and nasal decongestant, things that I know that I'm going to need when I travel. And once again, if you only travel once a year, then that means when you go to pack the bag and you see those things, you will remember to dump out what's in there and refresh them. Do yourself a favor. If there's something around the house that you feel you can't live without, like the Fire Stick or Icy Hot or your nasal decongestion, buy a second set and just leave it in your suitcase all year long. You will save so much time when it comes to packing, and you'll be so much less likely to forget those things when you go on your trip. Because believe me, when you go on your trip, you do not want to be scrambling trying to find those things, especially if you don't have a car. Finally, the other thing that I do is I always keep at least 5 to 6 to even 2 weeks worth of clean underwear in my luggage at all times. Then I don't really have to think about it. I just check the pocket that they're in to make sure that there's still plenty of pairs in there. And I buy a 6-pack of trouser socks that are all the exact same that I will also put into the bag. And the reason that I do that is by making sure that they're all the same color, they're all the same length, then I can mix and match them. So, if one of them gets kind of weird and gross, you don't care if you throw it out or not. You're not constantly trying to match your socks when you're trying to go out and do something fun. I do go for the trouser socks because they are the thinner fabric versus, say, sports socks, which has the round knit. And the reason I do that is because many years ago when I was in my 30s, I played roller derby, and I tried using the sports socks while skating, and it was murder on your feet, absolute murder. The only socks that I found that really helped were ones that were thin and didn't have the pile inside the socks. So I've always gone for a trouser sock style, which is very thin. And I always go for black because it matches everything. And again, if they're all the same length, they're easy to mix and match, and you're not spending your time trying to dress perfectly when you're out on a trip. So again, the best way to pack are all of those things that I mentioned before, but especially to always have your bag about half ready to go. So you just got to put your clothes in. So outfit number 1, I just got a plain t-shirt. These are 2 items from my neutral section. Blue jeans goes with everything, so it's one of the neutrals. A white t-shirt, even though I hate wearing white. I do like what this one has to say. So a white t-shirt, blue jeans. That's look number 1. Now again, these are pajama jeans. They're super stretchy. I've had them for probably 7-8 years and they still look brand new. Although honestly, I don't wear them that often. But this is look number 1. So for look number 2, we grab a jacket, we throw it over, and now we got a different look with just a jacket. It's very simple. You can leave it zipped up, zipped down. If I zip it up and cover the written part, that's a whole other look again. That's 2, maybe 3 looks, depending on how you look at it. Adds an extra layer of warmth. Very stretchy, very comfortable. Zippered pockets, which I love. But there's 2 looks for 3 garments. The next look is my second jacket that I throw on. So again, a different look. Now, if this had buttons, I could wear it without the shirt, and it could just be a cardigan with the pants. So keep that in mind when you look for your jacket tops. You want something with buttons or zippers, so it can be worn alone or with something else. From my neutrals, just a simple gray sweatpants, again, white shirt, and I could add 2 more looks by putting on the jackets as well. Okay, next look with the t-shirt is the velour leggings, also from Cuddle Duds. Super soft, easy to sleep in. These are basically a nice thermal that doesn't get too warm, but it's got this wonderful texture that's just fantastic to lounge in. And one of the best things is it's very easy to wear under my uniform, under jeans, under the other pieces, in case, I were to end up in Canada. Again, another look. And again, I could zip it and just be all in black. Very stylish, right? One more time so you can see with the burgundy jacket. Again, another great look. Do a little ha, ha, ha. And finally, the fourth look is just some simple lounge pants, no cuffs. These are not actually cuddle duds. These are tech gear, which I get from the workout section at Kohl's. I'm absolutely in love with the tech gear brand because the fabric is so incredibly soft and it doesn't make you too hot, too cold. It's so comfy that I always switch into them as soon as I get home just to lounge around, but I also have no problem going out in them because people can't tell with the way they fall. And they do have the elastic, so I can tighten it if I need to, which seems to be how I live these days. Just to give you the look with the full burgundy, almost kind of a suit-like look. Am I right? Something a little different. So, done with shirt one. Let's go on to the burgundy shirt since I'm already in burgundy. So you can probably tell from a distance that these pants aren't exactly the same color as the top, but it's close enough for me. This one has kind of like a black speckle pattern to it, some black buttons. It's a little bit more of an elegant look, and it's basically kind of a nice, really soft sweater material. I am a total sucker for things that feel incredibly soft. I swear I'm like a cat or something. I have to rub against anything that's soft. And I will frequently molest passengers that come on with something that looks fuzzy. I'll be like, can I touch you? And it's amazing how many people say yes. Again, this can give you a nice, elegant look if you're going out, especially if I wear them with the black velour pants, but all burgundy. Nice look, right? Not too bad. A little more upscale. The pants, they're a little on the more relaxed side. I might not wear this to a nice restaurant, but when I swap over to the black velour, I would definitely wear that. One more look with the black, just to give you an idea of what that would look like. So again, another look. Very simple. I think it's kind of classy. That's just me. Nice and warm, you know? Again, with the black velour cuddle duds, it's a nicer, more elegant look if I wanted to go somewhere a little bit fancier. Again, these are thermals. It's really up to you. I mean, honestly, if you know you're going to go somewhere and you're going to want to eat out somewhere nice, you might want to grab at least one outfit. I like to do at least one set of thermals, and these velour cuddle duds qualify as that. But if I were to go somewhere that I know would be nicer, I might pick either a nicer pair of work pants. Again, I like elastic. I like very comfortable stuff. This I got from Torrid years ago. Or I might go for some leggings. These ones I got from Kohl's. Little lace at the bottom. Gives it a nice little extra look. If you want something a little bit fancier, but that's not part of this capsule, so we're just going to leave those out. And again, I can add the jackets for 2 more looks. Let's switch pants. One of the pieces that I always try to take with me is some kind of dress that can be a bit longer, just because I don't know about you, I'm at that age where I can really appreciate a walk-in freezer. So it's very common for me to hang out in the hotel in my skivvies, you know, the undergarments. And then all of a sudden you got to run down to the lobby and you just want to throw something on. So this can be a look by itself, no pants, if you have some type of dress. Or, you know, if you brought your swimsuit trunk, you can slip that underneath, make sure you don't get that thigh rubbing, walk out. A little less embarrassing if you should happen to flash anyone if you have that on. But you can wear this with pants. Now, you may be thinking, why would you want to wear pants with a dress? That is not a look. Actually, I was very surprised when I first moved to Chicago. I moved to a very Arabic community, Muslim community, and I saw a lot of women wearing dresses, or I don't know if they call them dresses, but a lot of them would end like here, and then they'd have pants underneath, and I thought, that's a really good look. I liked it. I started wearing it. I've traveled all around the country wearing that. Nobody says anything. But here's the other thing. You can also tuck this in. So give it a little tuck in the front, in the back, and now you got that t-shirt look. Now, this t-shirt does have a hoodie. Usually I try not to buy dresses with hoodies just because if I do want to sleep in this as pajamas, I don't want the hoodie choking me. But it does come in handy if you're in an area where it rains or hails or snows. I've been known to run through hail to get a Starbucks because I like it that much. 2 new looks if you add your jacket to that, just like that. So a little bit more sporty, professional, just depends on the type of jacket that you get. Here's what it would look like without the pants. I don't know why I grabbed the short one today. Usually I try to go a little bit longer to at least here. A couple fun things you could do is add a belt to get another look, either with or without the pants. You could add a tie, and that's always fun. Just tie it off or give it a shot of color. Okay, so one of the things is if you do a long sleeve black shirt, you pretty much get all of the same looks as the short sleeve, although maybe it ends higher, so you get a different look. The nice thing about the long sleeve black shirt is I generally go for something super, super stretchy, super thin, because I want to sleep in this. A lot of times for me, when I'm in the hotels, I can't sleep with any kind of sound. I have to turn the air conditioner off. I have to turn the heater off. And in the winter, the room gets cold really, really fast in a lot of places that I go to. So it's nice to have a t-shirt that not only can I wear it as a pajama top, especially with the leggings. This is the perfect pajama outfit, but I'm okay going out in this outfit too because it'd be comfortable. And if it's really cold outside, like I said, I would take one of the other pairs of pants and throw this on right over it, or even wear these, like I said, under my uniform. Now, let's say I had brought a different stretchy t-shirt with me. This has been a look for a while, and I always find it kind of amusing, but you can always layer a long sleeve under a short sleeve too. That's been a style that's been in for a couple of years. I think it doesn't look too bad if you had brought an extra t-shirt, especially a stretchy one like I recommend that you can use as a pillowcase. And speaking of pillowcase, that dress shirt, I may not wear it as a pajama shirt, but I would definitely use it as a pillowcase, especially because I just dyed my hair again today. So that means with all this lovely sweat, I'm going to be turning some white pillowcases red for the next week. Obviously, that adds 2 more looks if you add the jackets. Sometimes you might want to go with a different neckline as well as a different sleeve, so that way you could differentiate between them when you do pictures wherever you're traveling. Again, a higher neck goes really good with a lot of these sweaters, but another look very similar to the one where I had the strings and the hoodie and all of that. Okay, so I could take pictures on all of these again, but I think you kind of get the idea. The different shirts with the different pants, you get a bunch of different looks, and then you add the jackets and you get even more. Now, here's one other thing to keep in mind. I do 4-day trips usually. And for 4-day trips, I really only need 2 pairs of pants and 2 shirts, because with 2 pairs of pants and 2 shirts, you can get 4 looks. And that's enough to cover 4 days. Yes, I'm wearing each pair of pants for 2 days. And yes, I'm wearing each shirt for 2 days. But depending on what you're doing, you may not be sweating a lot in it. Depending on what kind of shirt it is, like one of these wash really fast, really easily. You can wash a lot of these thinner knits in the ice bucket with a little bit of shampoo and some water. Wring it out as much as you can up into the bucket, kind of like that. You turn the bucket upside down, wring it up into the bucket to get as much out as you can, and then you hang it to dry in the shower. So as you can see, you can mix and match all those outfits, and then whatever outfits that you come up with, you can double it by simply adding a jacket. And again, if you get the right cardigan and the right jacket, one that buttons up by itself or zips up by itself, you don't actually need to worry about a shirt underneath. So again, it's another set of looks with just the pants. Okay, guys, we're to the final part where I tell you, grab your remote, because I got another video that's about to pop up. I'm actually going to link the last video if you want to go back and see the fashion show that you missed. But in the meantime, there is one more tip that I want to give you before I go, and that is this right here. These are sheepskin insoles, perfect for the winter. My first winter as a flight attendant in Chicago, coming from Southern California, I didn't have as much winter savviness as I thought I did. As a flight attendant on a regional plane, the heat did not reach my jump seat on several of the planes that I flew. As a result, my feet were always cold, always. Like I sometimes would stop feeling them. And then this really great gate agent one day gave me one of those heat packets that you break and it then just heats up and it stays warm for like 8 hours. And I immediately stuck those in my shoes and love them. I then went on to Amazon to see if I could find a decent price for something that I could stick into my shoes that would keep my feet warm. And I ended up stumbling across these sheepskin insoles. And I thought, why not try them? And I did buy them, and they kept my feet warm. They do the trick, and they're not very expensive, as you can see. I have done these ones before with the extra padding on the heel. They are very nice if you tend to have very sensitive feet. However, I find I like the flatter ones better. And you can literally get these for like $7, $8. Well, there's one for $10. Tariffs, am I right? But I usually will order a couple pairs of these and I will stick them in my shoes. I like to do 2 different colors, white and black, because all my shoes are the same style that you saw. And by putting in different colored insoles, it helps me keep the shoes together that belong together so that I don't end up accidentally wearing down one shoe faster than another shoe, if that makes sense. So I will often get a pair of the black ones, a pair of the cream ones. They do make your shoes just a little bit tighter, but eventually your shoes will stretch out and it'll be comfortable. And also generally these will end up flattening out. I usually get 1 pair every winter. Then after the winter's over, I toss them. So this is great if you're going into an area that's cold. I highly recommend getting some sheepskin insoles. The fluffier, the better. Trust me on that one. Thank you for watching. Here is my next video. If you like this video, please let me know by hitting the like button. Also, if you like videos like this where I'm not reacting to somebody, but I'm just giving my travel advice and the video might be longer, let me know in the comments below. Or if you prefer seeing me react to a travel guru and then adding my 2 cents to the conversation so you can get both sides of the conversation, but tell me which style you prefer. That way I know where to go with this channel. I'm flying until the 20th of this month, so if you want to be notified of future videos, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you guys for watching, and next week I'm going to do a video on how to sleep like a flight attendant. So, see you guys in the next video. Ciao!